Now we're going to go to the next phase of headlocks, late defenses. These are some of the most common situations because it doesn't take very much time at all for an attacker to get you from this point to this point. Only takes a moment or two, and if your reflexes aren't sharp, you're taken off guard, you're going to end up in a late position. What I mean by that, he gets me in the headlock and he pulls my head down. This is not a good position to be in. Let's look at it for a moment and analyze why. A lot of people are trying to design defenses based around a problem that doesn't exist. We have to understand what he's achieving by getting you in a headlock. First of all, you're in no real danger of being choked. A lot of people start freaking out, they start spazzing out because they think they're going to get choked out, choked unconscious. It's almost impossible. He has to close either the front of my neck or both carotid arteries, and in this position, it's almost impossible. You can put pressure on your neck. If you're caught in a gimpy position, you can actually get your neck, twisted or tweaked, and it's going to hurt because the bones of his arms are digging into your neck, but you're not going to go unconscious. So that's the first thing to remember. You don't need to rush this technique. Let's look at some ways to protect your neck. So the guy's really big, he's huge, he pulls me in, I go like this, he pulls my head down. It may behoove me just to hook here and keep my elbow against my side. So the harder he pulls, I can take some of the pressure off here with a pressure release. This is important. If I need time to breathe, if I'm freaking out, if he's really hurting me. Remember, try not to pull away from his headlock. It's just going to hurt your neck more. The more he pulls on you, the more I push my head into him. And I try to hook here without my thumb. My elbow has to be against my body, and I use the leverage of my whole body to create a little bit of space there. It doesn't have to be a big space. We're just exaggerating so you can see on camera. But you just need a little bit to be able to take the pain off. Now, you know what's not happening. You're not being choked unconscious. Why is this position dangerous? It's really about the posture. Once you're pulled over like this, your back is 90 degrees to the ground and you're completely unbalanced. This is a classic wrestling concept. If I can snap the guy down and get his back in a 90 degrees to the ground, there's nothing he can do. His muscles aren't designed to work in that position, and it's really easy to knock him down. For example, if I bend him over like this and I put my hand on his head, sit up. It's really easy. You can hold a guy down with 2 fingers sometimes because his muscles aren't designed to work in this position. That's the danger of the headlock. You're being immobilized. So when he grabs me in the headlock here and he pulls me down, if the problem is the relationship of my back being bent, then what's the solution? I need to straighten my back. Now, if I was strong enough, you would straighten it this way, but obviously you can't. So what do? I'm going to straighten my back from the other end. I'm going to bend my legs. That's the key. I need to get my spine straight. So the more he pulls me in, the more I need to bend here. I'm a lot stronger. Try and stay standing here. Imagine you're a huge guy, 300 pounds. There'll be lots of room for me to work here. So by bending my legs, my back is straight now. This makes me a lot stronger and you're able to work. One of the simplest ones is to hook the leg here. Let's move over this way. Now the old style one is you pick the guy up and you slam him. Great. If you outweigh the guy by 40 pounds, like the people I see demonstrating this, they always find the smallest guy they can. Oh man, look. That's great. He's about the same weight as I am. There's no way I'm picking up a 300-pound man. Don't try. You'll lay there and scream because you blew your disc out. He won't have to finish his headlock. What I can, though, do is use the same principle. He pulls me in. Remember, my head's going this way. I go here. I just have to get his weight off this leg. I don't have to do anything dramatic. So by pushing my head this way, pulling with my seat belt and rocking him, his weight is all on his left leg now. From here, I'm just going to circle him down. That's the jiu-jitsu version of the headlock defense. It's based on leverage, not on trying to lift a guy up. Those are older techniques they must have got from old Japanese jiu-jitsu. If you outweigh the guy by 20 pounds, great. If you actually have to defend yourself in the real world, this is a better way to do it. Now let's look at the next phase. If he gets me really broken down, I'm not able to shift his weight off of that leg. I have 2 options. Maybe I can't even get my back straight. I have 2 options here. One of the good old school ones, if I feel his weight rocking onto his heels, which I can help by trying to pull this way, it's just a simple back trip like that. That's a classic one and it works really, really well. That's also a much better variation than trying to pick a guy up, and it works in the real world. Sometimes the guy's moving around funny, you're just not able to put this leg in place, and sometimes you need to have this leg back because he's trying to pull your head forward pull my head forward. And if this leg is back, it's easier for me to keep my balance here. So instead of tripping in with this one, I'm going to slide this one across him, across the back of his legs. I guess in judo terms, this would be kind of a reverse yoko wakari, kind of a, they usually do it from the front, but I'm going to sit this way, and I can roll him back over me that way. I'll end up on top or in position, what we'll do a little later with ground position. So a lot of this has to do with where his weight is. And it's hard to simulate that in classroom conditions, but when a guy headlocks you, he's either going to be pulling you this way, he's going to be stepping this way, you don't know. And again, it's not about memorizing different techniques, it's about being able to adapt to fluid conditions. There is no one way to take somebody down if you're a competitive wrestler. There's just not one way to throw somebody if you're a judo man. There isn't just one way to punch somebody if you're a boxer. Real fights are fluid, and we need techniques that cover what actually happens in the real world. I wouldn't say the more you know, the better, because then you're wasting your time dividing yourself up. But you need to have key, solid techniques. So again, this one's here. If I get his weight on his heels in any way, that's a simple one. Now if I can't, and I'm almost in danger of being pulled around, if he pulls me around hard enough, I'm going to hit the ground from here. So one of my last ditch efforts as my head's being pulled this way is I can put that leg behind him instead of letting him whip me around to the front. So that's probably the last phase of the late standing responses. At that moment, you then have a transition to the ground, and then you're on the ground with this weight on top of you. You're going to have to work from there.